Close your eyes for a moment. And imagine a 12-year-old boy in Louisville, Kentucky. A boy who just had his bicycle stolen. He was angry, furious, ready to fight. So he went to a police officer and said, "I'm gonna beat up the thief who stole my bike." The officer looked at him and replied, "Son, before you learn how to fight, you better learn how to box." That moment changed everything. That boy's name was Cassius Clay. The boy the world would one day call Muhammad Ali. But listen carefully, Ali didn't start out as the strongest or the fastest. He wasn't born a champion. He built himself into one. Through sweat, through pain, through belief. He trained in silence, waking up when the world was still asleep, punching bags in an empty gym when nobody was watching. And when people laughed at his dream, Ali looked them straight in the eye and said, "I am the greatest," not because he already was, but because he knew, if you don't believe in yourself first, nobody else ever will. In 1960, that same boy stood on the Olympic stage in Rome. Gold medal around his neck. The kid who once cried over a stolen bike, had now made his country proud. But this was only the beginning. When Ali turned pro, critics said he was too flashy, too loud, too different. They said he talked too much. But Ali proved them wrong with every punch, every step, every fight. He wasn't just boxing, he was dancing in the ring. He wasn't just fighting, he was creating poetry with his fists. And when the world told him, "You can't," Ali replied, "I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when it hurts, because that's when it really counts." That's life, isn't it? The real growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when it hurts. When your body screams to stop. When your mind says you can't. That's when champions are made. But Ali's toughest fight wasn't just in the ring. It was outside of it. When his beliefs clashed with the system, they stripped him of his title, his money, his glory. The world turned its back on him. Reporters mocked him. Friends walked away. He lost everything. And yet, he stood tall. He said, "I would rather stand for what I believe, than bow for what I don't." Think about that. The easiest thing in the world is to quit when life gets hard. But Ali refused. He took the punches of life, and still got back up. Years later, he came back to the ring. Not the same young man he once was. Slower, weaker, but with a heart stronger than ever. In 1974, against George Foreman, the fight the world thought he would lose, Ali shocked the planet with his famous strategy, the rumble in the jungle. He leaned back on the ropes, took the punishment, absorbed the pain, and then, when the time was right, he struck. Knockout. Victory. The world once again bowed to the king of the ring. But here's the real lesson. Ali's greatness wasn't just about the titles. Not the belts. Not the medals. It was about his spirit. Even when Parkinson's disease shook his body, his soul never shook. In 1996, with trembling hands, he lit the Olympic flame. And in that moment, the entire world remembered what true courage looks like. Because being a champion isn't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, and keep moving forward. So today, I ask you, where is your fight? Maybe it's not in a boxing ring. Maybe it's in your classroom. Maybe it's at your job. Maybe it's inside your own mind. But just like Ali, you must fight. Fight when they doubt you. Fight when they laugh at you. Fight when your body says stop. Fight when your heart says you can't. Because one day, the world won't remember your excuses. It will only remember your fight. Your courage. Your refusal to quit. And when they ask how you did it, you'll smile and say, "Impossible is nothing." That is the legacy of Muhammad Ali. And that can be your legacy too.